This is the third tutorial in a series of tutorials on the basics of video editing in Blender. As part of this lesson, we begin to create the structure of the video Who Am I?, which we will collect by the end of this series of lessons on the basics of video editing in Blender. Links to previous lessons in the description. By the way, friends, subscribe to the channel and press the bell too. Do not miss new videos. First of all, we import the full video Who Am I? On the timeline. Drag it with the left mouse button. We move frames of the arrow to the left, to the right. The default project in Blender is 250. Our video is much longer. Put the cursor on the timeline and press the home button to zoom out the timeline. Scroll the mouse wheel to zoom out horizontally and see the entire video track. Move the slider to the last frame by holding the left mouse button and dragging. At the end, arrows to the left, to the right, put the slider exactly on the last frame. Press Ctrl+End. And the end of the project will move to the slider. Now our project is not 250 frames, but 2138 frames. This is where the first scene with the eye begins. We do not consider interruptions to be a new scene. You can put a landmark marker. Hotkey M. The marker is on the 31st frame. Here is the next scene at frame 66. Next scene, next marker, and so on throughout the video. Now our task is to arrange all the video sources from the video folder according to markers from the first to the last. We move the source to the top, to the bottom with hotkeys G move, Y axis of movement. Click GY and pull higher or lower horizontally, press the source with the left mouse button and pull in the right or left. Or hotkeys GX, we move around the source by the arrow with arrows in the left and right. We will focus on the original. Turn off the file on the pre-examination. If it interferes, first select, then turn off. You can take a hotkey or here to remove the box. The source will become gray. Turn on the display again, put a box or hotkeys Alt+H. We put the slider on the first marker where the first scene begins. Because all the sources when importing become where the slider is. Let's drag the first source onto the first marker. The video is imported with an audio track even if it is empty and there is no sound on the video. Therefore, the audio track of the source is deleted, leaving only the video. We look at the original eyes slightly ajar, remember. Turn off the visibility of the original. Hotkey H or uncheck the box here. Move the first source GX, find the right place. Press Enter. Turn on the original Alt+H, compare. If everything is good, move on. If not, move more. We shorten the excess. Select the left edge of the source, click and drag to the right. The marker is on the 31st frame. Drag to the 31st frame, the frames are visible on the track. And release the left mouse button. Move the slider to the beginning of the second scene. To the second marker. The right edge of the source is also shortened. Select the right edge of the source. Click and drag to the left. Marker on the 66th frame. Drag to the 65th frame. From the 66th, the next fragment children begins. You can improvise, put your own sources with your children. Get creative. We drag the source, delete the audio track of the source, and so on until the end of the video. We focus on the original video, compare it with the original and, if necessary, move We will deal with the design of the source codes in the next lesson, but for now we are collecting the structure of our video. Next snippet. A fragment with some famous person, you can also dream up. Shorten to marker. Then again the eye, the sixth source. We find the right moment. Shorten to marker. The next moment is with the planet. We will add glitches to it in the next lesson. Shorten to marker. The next source is the horizon of the planet. Shorten to marker. The next scene, in the library, here we will then add pictures, glitches for interruptions. Next, I made a scene consisting of 3 separate drawings. The first drawing will stretch to its full length until the scene ends. Add the other 2 by markers and stretch to the end of the scene. We will not deal with the design now, we will insert the following fragments and move on. The next scene is again an eye. Select the desired fragment. GX and pull. And shorten. Next comes a series of short breaks from separate sources. We find the right moments and put in place. The interruptions are very fast, almost imperceptible, but they should be. We continue to arrange the following scenes. Next, interruptions from the pictures, we continue to arrange by markers. All pictures in the PIC folder. The next scene is with the astronaut boy. There are a lot of effects here and different objects move separately. There is an approximation effect. This deserves special attention. The scene will be covered in a separate lesson. As long as we skip it and move on. Next, the man beats his computer. Here we insert a GIF animation. Blender does not support GIF, so GIF needs to be converted either to a sequence of images using FFmpeg or to an MP4 or MOV video file. You can make a video out of GIF. Open the GIF in Windows Photo Viewer. In the top right corner click Edit and Create. Create a video with music. The audio track will then be deleted. You can convert the GIF on the site sgif.com. Insert the converted GIF to MP4 into the project. Blend color overlay method. Next, scene 19 and 20. Import the 19th source into the scene. Delete the source audio track. We shorten the markers, we will draw up later. We import the 20th source, it will need to be looped. The audio track is also deleted. We turn off the original and the 19th source, so as not to interfere with working with the 20th. Let's take as the beginning where the lizard starts moving. We shorten. And the end where he puts his paw on the sheet. We shorten. we will speed up this fragment. In Blender we do it like this. Select the source and add speed control. Copy the source and effect. Select the track, press Shift and select the effect. Copy Ctrl plus C, place close to the original. Ctrl plus V. To play the duplicate backwards. Select the duplicate and in the Tools, in the Video tab, check the Reverse Frame Order checkbox. With a frame, select these two fragments along with the effects with the left mouse button, copy and paste them side by side. We get a looped video of the lizard. Based on the marker, we shorten these 4 fragments so that they fit the entire length of the scene between the markers. In the next lesson, we will decorate this scene. Turn on the visibility of the original and move on. In the next scene, source code 2122 at the beginning, we will insert graphic elements. We will not do a fragment of scattering into pixels, we will use the ready-made source code. This is the topic of a whole separate course. We will paste this scene in its entirety. Drag to the timeline and shorten by the marker. Turn off the original. We look. Next scene 23, hands near the keyboard. We put it on the timeline, shorten it by the marker. The next scene is hands on the keyboard. Drag and drop. I made the next scene with the monitor screen myself, took a screenshot of the screen, designed and animated it. Placed above the source. The next scene is eyes and darkness. Here the eye closes and darkness. We find where the eye blinks and adjust according to the original. The last piece to insert yourself, you can shoot on your phone. We have collected the structure of the video. Next come the subtitles. We can leave the titles from the original by cutting out the X's and hiding it with the H button. Let's move on to the next lesson, in which we will deal with the design of the video. Let's make a screen porridge. Let's adjust the scale of the source files, deal with effects, glitches and interruptions. My lesson has come to an end. Watch more tutorials on the Video Editing Blender channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.